Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
The good guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tri-Tunes and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City or online at alexcitymarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cabs, discounted up to $13,750 off. Chevy Equinox with discounts up to $6,000 off. And listen to this, 2024 Chevy Blazer EV, as low as $295 a month. Brand new Chevy Blazer EV, 24 months lease, just $295 a month.
Get ready to smile. Good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome into the Auburn Blitz. I'm Randy Lee. I'll be joined with Brett Pritchard here shortly, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. We'll field your phone calls, 256-234-6221. So make sure to get those comments in, those questions in. Here's a couple of the topics that we plan on discussing today. First off, reaction to the scrimmage this past Saturday. A lot of buzz coming out of that scrimmage, a lot of interviews coming out of that scrimmage. One of the biggest buzzes, and you've probably started hearing this from Brett and myself last year, as the buzz around Malcolm Simmons began to grow here in the state of Alabama, that there was zero surprise whenever he made a big splash on campus there at Auburn getting started. Malcolm Simmons, a massive scrimmage this Saturday, has really hit the ground running. No surprise here. Brett and I have had the good fortune of watching him grow up here in Alexander City, and one of the best athletes we've ever produced in the Lake Martin region. And Malcolm, I think, is just getting started. He's got one of those dynamic personalities that make you want to gravitate to him. Big time upside for him. The ceiling's exceptionally high. He's the state long jump record holder now. He broke Orlando Waters. If many of you remember the great Orlando Waters from Anniston High School, set the long jump record here in the state of Alabama back in 1990. It took that many years for Malcolm Simmons to break that, and he barely missed out on breaking the state high jump record. So from an athleticism standpoint, there is zero question what he's bringing to the table. Now, what a lot of you don't know that we've had the good fortune of seeing is how great a personality he is. Tremendous athlete, yes, but sometimes you don't have the work ethic, and sometimes you don't have that spirit about you to go 110%, all out, every play, practice game with a smile on your face. That's him. We knew that going in, and the Auburn fans are going to gravitate to him. I knew it, and just glad to see that it's actually coming to be. You know, we love high school sports here in the state. Brett and I do a lot of work with high school sports in the state of Alabama, and especially when it's a kid like Malcolm that grows up in a community like we have here in Alexander City, it makes it that much more important. So we know a lot of you out there have Auburn and Alabama players that are on rosters that you watched grow up, and that makes it just that much more important. So no surprise, we'll be talking a lot more about him. Some interesting data coming out from Graham Database. Auburn has not won more than 6 games in each of the last 4 years. There are lots of reasons that is the case. It's a combination of shortcomings on both sides of the ball. Passing statistics in particular have been atrocious. We can play the chicken and the egg, and we'll start right there. Is the team hurting the quarterback by the quarterback play, or is the quarterback play hurting the team? Probably a little of both, but regardless, these numbers must change if Auburn's record is going to get better in the years to come. We look through some of those passing statistics, Brett, and if you go back to 2020, there is no question that Auburn has not been good in the passing game. We've had some other issues with this football team, but the passing game, especially these last 2 years, have been 2 of the worst years in Auburn history since the passing game became very important to offensive football. And in order for Auburn to go from 6 wins to 9 or 10 wins a season, we're going to have to change that.
Yeah, I think you look at a couple different aspects of that. Number one, I just don't think the receiving corps has been that good. I mean, Auburn, for some reason, dating all the way back to the early 2000s, we just don't produce 1,000-yard receivers. We just don't. I mean, what have we had? One since then?
Ronnie Daniels.
Ronnie Daniels, and I mean,
it was flash in the pan.
Right. You know, we've had some good ones. I mean, and there's been a boatload of guys that have had 800, 900 yards in a season, but, you know, not that standout exceptional guy. You know, and I think quarterback play from time to time has been great. Obviously, Cam Newton was unbelievable. And, you know, Nick Marshall, I thought obviously was a great combo quarterback. But, you know, the passing game has suffered. And I think, again, you can't just peg it on a quarterback or the receiving corps. It's been a combination of both. I think offensive line has lacked a lot to be desired several of those years. But, you know, we talked about this yesterday, and we tried to temper expectations a little bit because Saturday, and that was only 30 plays, but Peyton Thorne didn't have the best day. What does that mean? Well, defense played well. You expect the defense to be ahead this time of year. But let's just be honest, guys. I mean, Hugh Freeze pushed all his chips in on Peyton Thorne. I said that yesterday a couple of times. They didn't go out and get a quarterback out of the portal. And you look at the ones, we talked most of the show yesterday about the backups. Who is the backup? Well, Holden Geriner, to me, has been down there longer than anybody, and he can't separate himself in the number 2 position. He's not an option, just in my mental. Hank Brown, I mean, we have seen very little of him. We saw a tidbit of a sample size against Maryland. Looked good, but again, that game was over. And then you got Walker White, who a lot of people are high on, but obviously from the things that we hear from the coaches, he doesn't have it yet. Doesn't mean he's not going to. So Peyton Thorne's it, man. And Auburn fans need to understand that, you know, he may not be great from one game to the next. It just depends. I don't know what he's going to produce. Last year, I think he was subpar, but Randy, you're right. I mean, for Auburn to be successful and meet some type of expectations here, he's got to have a good year.
Well, subpar is putting it nicely.
Right.
Let's run down passing statistics, and Andy did a great job of putting these together. But in 2023, we threw for an average of 162 yards per game, which is 121st nationally and 14th in the conference. We had 126.04 team passing efficiency mark, which was 89th in the country, also 13th in the conference. And just to kind of show you the difference between Peyton Thorne, who was 72nd, and he was dead last in the SEC, 14th. Right. Let's look at Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels had a 208 passing efficiency over at LSU, did win the Heisman Trophy, number 1. Bo Nix, who we let get out of here, Brian Harsin let get out, he was number 2 in passing efficiency. He never had those numbers at Auburn. No. So I don't necessarily know that you can always just point back to the quarterback not being the answer here. I think there are a lot of question marks around this offensive unit and scheme and inability to go out there and recruit offensive linemen. That's been the key. But Brett, if we don't fix this, and if these receivers that Auburn's got a stable of right now can't help fix it, then I do honestly believe this year, if it's not fixed, it could be a quarterback issue.
Yeah,
I believe that.
I think all signs, looking at what we are right now, is to Peyton Thorne. The monkey squarely on his back to determine, because the offensive line's better. The running back room is outstanding. I'm going to use the word outstanding. I think Auburn's got 3 outstanding running backs. And this wide receiving core has 9 viable options. 9, guys. I mean, a mix of veterans that you brought in the transfer portal and the most talented recruiting class of receivers we've ever seen in our lifetime, maybe ever. You know, I don't know a receiving class that rivals this one. So the level of talent is there. And yeah, they're young and they're going to learn, but they're going to be able to go do things that the receiving core last year wasn't able to do. So, yeah, what's left in the equation? Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne is what's left. You have given him, in 2 years, the best possible scenario that you can give him. Now can he go out and produce that? And again, like you said, it doesn't always fall on the quarterback. Bo Nix didn't have the tools around him. He went to Oregon, had the tools, saw what he was. Heisman finalist. Jaden Daniels, why was Jaden Daniels so good at LSU? Outstanding offense, outstanding tools around him, great receivers,
yes,
great offensive line. Okay, Bo Nix didn't have all that. You look back at some of the ones we've had before him. Even back to Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham had a good year, and then he had a bad year. Well, we lost a lot from 17 to 18, right? Lost Kerryon Johnson being one of them. Mm-hmm. You lose that running game. A running game is just as important to the passing game as the wide receivers, because if you can't run the football, then teams are going to not stack the box. They're going to dare you to run, and they're going to put more pressure on the pass. So, but I think, as you said, when you kind of go down the line and you eliminate things, this is going to be determined. The success of Auburn is going to be determined offensively by Peyton Thorne.
Well, the best season we've had is 2021. And, of course, that was Nix, who had a 130 passing efficiency, which even then was 12th in the conference. Yeah, that's the best that we put out over the last 4 years.
Bad. I mean, it really is a shame. I mean, because this is the best example of a hypothesis you could ever see. When you take a guy we all knew was talented in high school arena, we called him multiple times, 5-star legacy quarterback, comes to Auburn, had a great freshman year, but it was all freshmen, but just went downhill after that. Then he goes to Oregon, and he shows you what we all thought he could be, and that's a Heisman finalist. That just tells you how bad it's been at Auburn for the last 3 or 4
Well, let's look at his number change. So we just mentioned in 2021, 130 passing efficiency. The very next year, he had a passing efficiency of 165.7, which was number 6 in the country. So the previous year, he was 86th in the country, 12th in the conference. He goes to, no, it's not the SEC, but it's not like he went to Liberty.
Right.
He didn't go play at Tulane against lesser than talent like we saw with TJ Finley this past year.
Right.
I'm not considering what he did. I'm not trying to knock him, but I'm dang sure not considering what he did in comparison to what Bo Nix had to do going to Oregon. And then the following year, he goes from 6th all the way up to 2nd. And barring a couple of bad drives in the second half, I think he wins the Heisman Trophy at Oregon, and he plays for a national championship, potentially. So not to say that Jaden Daniels didn't deserve it, but they lost enough football games that I think that Bo Nix would have gotten the nod if they don't lose that game against Washington.
Yeah,
so
he's 123 at Auburn. He's 188 at Oregon. I mean, that tells you all you need to know, man. I mean, it just Auburn, and I've said this multiple times over the last month or so, when you look at the teams that are successful, they have stability. The ones that have good programs that haven't been stable have records like Auburn. We've got everything else. We just haven't had stability in our coaching staff and in our recruiting. And when you do that and you compete in the best league in the country, that's what you're going to get, man. You're going to get the results Auburn's been getting. The first time in mine and your lifetime, Auburn's had 3 consecutive losing seasons. You and I haven't grown up ever seeing Auburn have 3 losing seasons. It's not what we are. It's not the program that we're built. We're a top 15 program nationally year in and year out, and the product has been way subpar the last few years. Hugh Freeze is changing that. Now, again, last year was a little bit disappointment even for him. He said that, but with the recruiting classes he's building and the product, you just got to feel the energy and all. It's just totally different right now.
I already had a commercial break to start the program, so we'll run over to 24 here before we take our second break. But, Brett, your thoughts on the scrimmage, buzz that you had coming out of the scrimmage, what did you think?
Again, 30 plays, wasn't the best offensive. It's the first one. You know, you're also trying to figure out a lot in that first scrimmage. Who's the guys you're going to be relying on? Who's stepping up to the plate? The defense, I thought that's a good thing that your defense is ahead of your offense. You don't want your offense to go out there and gash your defense in the first scrimmage. To me, that's a lot more detrimental than your offense struggling a little bit. But there were some highlights in the offense. Bryce Kane had some really, really good plays. He had a good scrimmage. And Malcolm Simmons had an outstanding scrimmage. I think Malcolm probably stood out more than anybody. And we're not surprised by that. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. You're not going to keep him off the field. And I don't think the goal is to have anybody sit over there on the sideline and rot. There's going to be opportunities for all these guys, for 7 or 8 of those guys to get playing time. And I think they'll all get along. They seem to all be a really tight-knit group. Sam Jackson and you know, some of these other guys that came in the portal have really spoken highly of the young guys and really excited about what they bring to the table. So it's about what you get on a scrimmage. 30 plays, situational stuff, looking at some guys. Obviously, Hank Brown got a few reps, looked okay. Walker White's not ready. In 7-on-7, Holden Gardner, Walker White looked great. When you put them in realistic situations, the speed may be a little bit too much for them. So
that is the wild part. You know, which ones have the ability to come in, and it's all based off of, you know, what they had in high school and maybe what systems they played in high school, the ones that are able to come in and make an immediate splash.
But Holden Gardner should be ahead of where he is right now.
Well, he should be if he's going to get any playing time at Auburn, and it just doesn't feel like
there's a reason he didn't leave either.
Yeah.
There's a reason he didn't go in the portal. And, look, I'm not up here to try to bash Holden Gardner. I don't know the kid. All I can go off of is the couple times he's come in games, it hadn't looked real good. Yeah, I hear all the buzz out of a pro day. He's the best. He spins it better than anybody. But that doesn't mean anything for Auburn as a team. He's had the most time in that quarterback room, and for him to have not separated himself from Hank Brown and Walker White tells me really all I need to know about him, that he's not really an option. So to me, it's Hank Brown, Walker White vying for number 2, and had some guys comment yesterday on the show that the number 2 reps are more important than the number 1 reps at this point. We know Peyton Thorne is the quarterback. He's one play away from it being one of these other guys. Is your entire season down the tubes if Peyton Thorne goes down?
I don't think so.
If one of these 2 guys don't step up and figure out who's going to take the reins, it's like Andy said. If you're not you don't want to hand it to somebody. You want somebody to earn the number 2 rep. The goal is for you not to have that much of a drop-off when 1 goes down and 2 comes in. So, I don't know.
I think the ceiling's as high for Hank Brown as I see it for Peyton Thorne. I've watched him.
He needs to separate now and be the number 2
guy.
guy.
I think that he needs the opportunity to do that, and I'm sure that that's going to be given in the weeks to come. But when he's in, he's a big lumberjack, man. He looks like he can deliver the football, and he's got guys out there that if you can deliver, they're going to go make plays for you. You know, it kind of reminds me back to when Tua came on the scene in that Georgia championship game for Alabama. Jalen Hurts, you watch that first half go by, and you know all these receivers are out there, and I really feel that way about Auburn going into this year. You look out there, and they got 4 or 5 guys. If we could just get them the ball consistently, we can move the football. And they come out in the second half, they throw Tua in there, and next thing you know, he's just finding open receivers. And it felt a little bit like the bowl game this past year with Maryland. You know, all of a sudden our receivers looked like they could separate and make plays in that bowl game, and Hank Brown was delivering the football, and we're like, what do we got here? So, look, I'm not the guy down there making these decisions, but I do have to go off of what my eyes tell me. And what my eyes tell me is he fits the bill for an SEC quarterback that can stand back there in the pocket and deliver. So I'm hopeful that there is at least someone in that room that I have semi-confidence going in. Do you? I mean, I got pretty good confidence with him.
Well, I think he is the number 2 guy. I do. I just want the coaches to come out and say, you know, Hank Brown's kind of taking that next step, separate. Right now, they haven't said that.
Well, I don't know that you would need to do that this early in camp.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, you give it another week or two.
I think they're trying to figure it out. I think they're trying to find them pretty quick.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's not next weekend.
Yeah.
Following the next scrimmage.
Yeah.
If he has a really productive scrimmage, then I think that you would hear that. But I don't see any.
In Walker White right now.
No, because I don't know enough about him. Like, I mean,
Should he be a little bit ahead of?
Who knows? We get caught up in thinking these kids directly out of high school are going to come in and just make an immediate impact. Who knows? You and I can't go off of what I know enough about high school football to know that you can't turn a highlight film on and make a decision on whether a quarterback can play in the SEC. That doesn't tell you anything.
No, it doesn't.
Some of these guys playing lesser than talent, and they're just so much better than anybody around them.
Some can pick it up faster than others.
Sure.
I mean, it just is what it is. All right, we're up against the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
The results are in, and Game Day Men's Health in Auburn has delivered. The certified medical team at Game Day Men's Health wants to help you feel better. Text 334-209-3706 to set up your free testosterone check and consult. Results back in as little as 15 minutes. Tired of feeling tired? Text 334-209-3706 to Game Day Men's Health in Auburn. They make you feel better.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores. J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, Central Alabama Community College. J.A. Smith Construction delivered dump truck load of sand to my house yesterday. We got to do some top dressing in the yards and stuff. If anybody wants to come out and help, I'm soliciting. I'm soliciting anybody that likes to use a shovel. But anyway, appreciate them. Again, no job too big or too small for J.A. Smith. They got multiple huge commercial projects going on, but they got time to bring some sand to your house if you need to top dress your lawn. So they'll take care of you. Make sure you get in touch with them. Central Alabama Community College, 4 locations throughout Central Alabama to get your 2-year degree or to move on to a 4-year college. And Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, 9 locations for all your home decor, home improvement, home building supply needs. They got you taken care of. We got some comments coming in.
Phone call too, by the way.
All right, got some. All right, we'll go to the phone first, and then we will come back to the comments on Facebook. Go ahead, caller. You're on the Eric McKinley Mortgage Pro Hotline.
Hello, Brett, Randy. How you guys doing today?
What's up, Jerry?
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm gonna be brief. I'm gonna give you guys some props. I watch your show whenever I can, and you all have been talking about Malcolm Simmons for a while, and living up here in the Birmingham area, don't necessarily hear a whole lot about certain things that Auburn related. We might know about the 4th-string water boy down in Alabama, but that's neither here nor there. But y'all have really been talking him up and everything, and I remember seeing him in a game that was televised last season when they played Helena, and he returned a punt for a touchdown early in the game, and you could see the athleticism. So based on what y'all have been saying, I've been pumping him up here and everything with a lot of my Auburn friends and family and so forth. So I was tickled to death to see what he had done over this weekend with the scrimmage, and I know he got somewhat overshadowed by Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, et cetera, but I'm really, really excited about Malcolm, and look forward to seeing what he can do. And that's a kudos to you guys. Y'all do a great job of keeping us informed. Just keep it up, guys, and War Eagle to you.
Thank you, Jerry. War Eagle to you, man. Yeah, we've enjoyed calling him the last couple of years, and we've been telling everybody, hey, look, there's some other guys in the state maybe garnering a little bit more attention, but he's going to have something to say about it, and he already has.
Well, I talked about it in the opening segment, but I definitely want to jump in real quick here. Sometimes, back to my comment on Walker White.
Right.
You can turn a film on, there's a highlight tape sitting there, and if you're 6'4" and you're 215 pounds and you're playing against competition that doesn't match you, you can look like a Superman out there.
Yeah.
But when you put a clock on somebody and you watch them jump over a high bar, and you watch them jump into that sand pit and almost leap out of it. I actually had someone call me with AHSAA that was one of the judges and said, we literally thought when he took off he was going to jump out of the sand pit when he broke the state record.
Right.
And so those things aren't marks that you just say, I wonder if he's athletic enough to be able to do it at the next level. That was never a question. And, Jerry, the thing, though, that I'm going to say it again, it's his attitude.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, he never stops. He can go from one practice to the next. We've watched him do it with basketball and then go to the track, compete in both in the same day, practice both in the same day, with a huge smile on his face, sprinting wherever he's going, picking up a ball and punting that joker all the way across the field. By the way, he could be an All-American punter. I've said that for many years. He actually, I made a post on the AHSAA outlets. He's 4th all time in a season punting average. He averaged 44 yards a kick as a junior. So I can't say enough good things about him. I'm not surprised at all.
One thing that Coach Freese said about him is that his energy level, to go off what you just said, it never stops at practice. He goes hard every single play. And when your head coach singles you out and makes that a priority to say to the press, he's sending a message to the rest of the team, too. He's not just saying, hey, I want to tell everybody Malcolm Simmons goes hard every play. He's like, yeah, this guy's talented, but, man, he is making sure he takes advantage of every waking opportunity to be the best he possibly can. That's what me and you watched for 2 years. There's never a time I can remember when Malcolm was on the field at Benjamin Russell
that I thought he was loafing.
He never did.
Yep.
He never loafed. And, I mean, even when he knew the play wasn't designed for him, he did the little things that it took to sell it to maybe look, because he knew all eyes were on him. And he knew that, hey, look, if I go out here and loaf, I'm going to tip the play.
Yeah.
So he made it look authentic to help his teammates. Look, you take 11 of him, and with 11 Malcolm Simmons, you'd win a national title. I mean, I truly believe that, because you don't question work ethic. You don't question somebody whether they're going to be on time. You don't question whether they're going to hydrate the correct way. He's going to do all the little things, and then when he gets to practice, you know what I think is the best part of all is he's appreciative for the opportunity.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
think
that.
that's what it boils down. It's why a kid with his talent goes out there and plays hard in practice on every play, is he is genuinely appreciative for the opportunity to be where he is. Some comments. Trey said, I think Malcolm could start on 75% of college teams with that talent. I don't question that at all.
I think he's going to start at Auburn.
I do think he's going to start
within a couple of games. So I don't care who starts.
I think
first.
you'll see him on the field in game one.
Yeah, you won't. I mean, are you kidding? You won't have a choice.
That's right.
I mean, you can't be ignorant enough. Now, we've had some coaches in the past that came on here and questioned.
We had a whole segment yesterday about how guys have gone missing at Auburn, like him talking about.
I mean, like Eli Stove's one. We'll go to a ball game in Eli Stove. He'll be running reverses. He'll be catching 6 or 8 balls.
I'll never forget that game against Arkansas. He just exploded. The next week, I don't think he played.
Yes.
And there was a guy that what was his name? Wore number 10. He's a fast receiver. Golly, I can't remember.
We'll think about it.
The reason I can't remember him because he went missing. He disappeared. Literally had a game like prior to the next week, and then it was like, is he still on the team? Didn't he have like 100?
I remember sitting with you in the stands going, he'd do something.
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah.
Like, man, he must have done nothing bad. He ain't here no more. All right, up against the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
"76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community."
Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One with pico and creamy chipotle ranch, and the other with bacon and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Taco experts since now. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Introducing Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos. One with pico and creamy chipotle ranch, and the other with bacon and avocado ranch. Chicken experts since 1990. Taco experts since now. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left in today's show. Again, want to remind everybody, check out Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine down in Auburn and in Montgomery. Don't take our word for it. Go check it out yourself. Their food is, as the younger group would say, is off the chain. It's off the chain, man. The steaks, the tiger tails, man, the pork chops, the ribs. They have their daily specials. Go to steaksandwine.com for their daily specials. And it's steaks and the letter N wine.com. So make sure you check them out. Go down to East Glen in Auburn and out in Pepper Tree in Montgomery.
Just talking about Auburn real quick.
Right.
You know, I was just at a ribbon cutting this morning over in Auburn, Brett. I think it is the 83rd ribbon cutting in that community just this year. The explosion of growth is amazing. You know, we're sitting here at Lake Martin, and the explosion of growth out there on that lake is amazing. I mean, if you were to go to both of those, I thought about that today. If you were to go to both of those places 20, 25 years ago, and then take a visual of what was going on around this lake then, and then take a look at it now, and then also it is. We've experienced tremendous growth. We've been very blessed in our two communities here with the growth that we've seen. So, I mean, I was thinking that today.
They're growing
amazing.
toward each other.
Oh, gosh, all the way up through Dayville.
That's what I'm saying. And not just down 280, but all on the backside up through Reeltown and all that. The two communities are growing. So it's just kind of
I think I had this talk this past weekend about that growth over in the Tallahassee and Reeltown area, and the projections of what their expected growth will be in the years. And it's also, I'm not saying that Montgomery's not growing, but I think that there is some running out of Montgomery that is ending up in Lee County and ending up in that way.
There's no growing in Montgomery.
Yeah.
There's exodus.
But I think that is helping the growth in those two areas, if you think about it.
Of course it is. No doubt. So, but yeah, it's all good points. And again, I want to thank our sponsors, all of them out there. Some more comments. Steve said, I think we expect Thorne to make better decisions, especially being a senior. Last year's decision performance was disappointing, given his experience in the Big Ten. The pick six he threw last season were pitiful. Kyle said, just realized Autry plays Ben Russell week 1. That's pretty cool. Hope he plays well, but hope he loses. We do too. I think Malik Autry is going to be a phenomenal. I'm looking forward to watching him here in a couple weeks at Benjamin Russell. He's just a physical specimen.
Opelika's got him on the lines of scrimmage. They normally do, but also one of my classmates, Anitha Smiley, her son is kind of the defensive end that's already signed with South Alabama. He's over at Opelika. He's about 6'4", 240, 245. So they're going to present some major questions. But Malik Autry, man, everywhere I go around and I talk, he's the first one that is brought up.
I'm looking forward to watching.
I was with a running group yesterday over in the area, and that's what they said. Well, what do you think about Malik Autry? I said, I don't really have a good opinion. I've watched him on the same recruiting films that you've seen in the summer where he looked like he was manhandling anybody they put in front of him, but I'll have a much better opinion of him. And Brett knows this because we've been doing football together for 20 years this year, by the way. My 20th year, and it has been a flash, but it's also been a lot of fun. His 25th year broadcasting Benjamin Russell football this year. It's amazing. We look at, though, as I look into that camera right there. But Brett knows that I say this more than anything. When it comes to defensive linemen, it's a motor, man. You make one play and then you take 3 or 4 off, you're not much of a player. I'm interested to see how he plays.
Yeah, I am too. We watched a good one last year, Malik Blockton.
Yes.
He didn't take any plays off. And to me, I think I said this yesterday on the show, I think he was the difference in the game.
He was,
I said I think he made – I said I think he single-handedly won the game, and I meant – that if he was not on that team, I think Ben Russell wins the game.
He stayed in our backfield.
I think Ben Russell wins the game by 2 touchdowns.
I agree with you.
If he's not on the team, they had to kick a field goal on the last play of the game to win the game to move on to semifinal, but he was the difference. And, we had heard some things about Malik Blockton early in his career, being one of those guys.
Same things we hear about a lot of defensive linemen.
Take a play or 2 off.
Yeah.
And not going to lie, heard the same about Malik Autry. Heard some things that, last year, go hard to play, maybe take a couple off. And, sometimes you got to shake guys like that and go, man, we know you're talented. We know you're good. You look the part. But if you're not going to go 100% out here, we're going to have to find a place over here on the sideline. So sometimes you have to wake them up. There's no doubt Malik Blockton woke up. And then when he went to the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, he exploded in that game too. So Auburn definitely has a great one in that one, and there's no doubt they're going to get a great one in Malik Alter too. Stanton Truitt, Kyle helped us out there. Stanton Truitt is not in the missing persons program anymore. I did find him on Instagram during the break. He transferred to North Carolina after he left Auburn. Not sure how much he played or whatever, but it looks like he's got his master's degree. Looks like he's a real estate agent now, so good for Stanton Truitt. But, again, another one of those mysteries, man. Looked like Tarzan. Had some games where he played like Tarzan. And then all of a sudden it was like, anybody seen him lately? I thought we had a good player that wore 10 around here. Ty said, y'all think Malcolm will line up at punter and fake the punt? Andy said yesterday, if we don't put something in to make teams honest and show that, then we're stupid. I mean, and he said it just like that. I agree with him.
Hey, it did change. You know, I'm not saying that it would play out the same way in college, but it did change things in high school. And, you know, a previous coach that we had before Coach Grider made mention how much of an impact he thought he could be just at that punting position, and it did, man. When we put him back there, you couldn't run. There was no longer a blitz package to go back there and try to block punts.
Bless Aubrey's heart. I mean, and trust me, that was my son's senior year, so nobody was more sad to see Malcolm leave for a year and go to Atlanta. But he already had it put in, man. There were going to be multiple plays out of that punt formation where Malcolm he took off and ran. And you got to keep – they had to honor that because of that. And then you add the leg to it. You just really had a weapon in special teams. So it'll be interesting to see how Auburn uses it.
All-state punter 2 years in a row.
Right.
42-yard average as a senior, 44 as a junior. So this was just not throwing an athlete back there. I mean, he's got great talent when it comes to that. If he just worked at that, I kept saying on broadcast, remember Reggie Roby with the Miami Dolphins and Roby's hang time, and they would actually – I think Roby was the one where they first started putting the timer down at the bottom of the screen to show hang time. Right. You remember that? So they would show his hang time, and because you weren't going to return a kick on him. And, you know, I made mention, you know, it's not just because –
Can you wear a watch in the NFL now? He used to wear a watch.
Reggie Roby did?
You go pull the film. That's what I remember about Reggie Roby outside of kicking him out. He had that mask and he had a watch on. I guess he wanted to see, maybe he was keeping time. I don't know. Go back and pull somebody. He had that watch on. Just kind of stood out. Steve said he went to school at AU in the 80s. There was nothing around Suge Jordan and Donahue. Now there's a golf course community. Hey, look, and what's it going to look like in 20 more?
I take my son by and I say, well, I used to live there on Glen for 3 years. And to think what you walk to.
Oh, yeah, man.
And now it doesn't even look.
It's not even
that whole road.
It's not the same place.
No, it's not.
It's gone. All right, one more segment coming up right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
For air that's cool and clean, call Senza Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
Turn to the experts at Senza Green and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit sensagreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage.
We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Announcing Camping World's Inflation Buster camping program. You can now get into a new RV starting at just $98 a month. We won't let the economy steal your camping season. Take advantage of this very limited time offer and lock in your low monthly payment today.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Go ahead and mark your calendars, sports fans. The Alabama State Games are returning to the Magic City of Birmingham, Jefferson County, and surrounding communities June 13th through the 15th, 2025. We're talking about 20-plus sports open to athletes of all ages and abilities. The 42nd Alabama State Games will be something to behold. Mark your calendars now and be ready to go when registration opens. Visit alagames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more exciting announcements. Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz. Again, get your comments and questions. Remind you to go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love for you to do that. I get the alert every day on my phone. Not that I need an alert because I'm here most of the time, but when I'm not, if I'm caught up doing something, in a meeting or whatever, that alert comes across my phone. So make sure you do that. I know a lot of you watch out there on Facebook and social media. You can set your Facebook to give you an alert when we go live as well. All right, kind of moving into the last part of the show, Randy. I mean, we're just a couple of weeks out, really. From the start of the season. You got Alabama A&M. We said this yesterday. Even in 2012, when it was the worst team in Auburn history, I think Auburn beat Alabama A&M 55-0. All right, so you're not going to know a lot about your team other than if you go out there and play bad. Now, if you play bad and struggle, you're walking out going, oh, my God. But if Auburn wins the game like they're supposed to win the game, you're still not going to know. Maybe you know a little bit more the next week against Cal, or maybe a little bit more the next week against whoever, if it's Arkansas, whatever. And then you move on into that Oklahoma game. Our ambitions are to be 4-0 going into that game. But I think you take it one game at a time. Obviously, we don't overlook anybody. What are you wanting to see week one out of this Auburn football team more than anything? Okay, now take out the wide receivers and what is it about the team that you want to see going against a much inferior opponent in week 1?
Handling the line of scrimmage. You know, I think Auburn hasn't necessarily on both sides of the ball won the line of scrimmage
Even
in
against
quite some time.
Even against inferior.
You know, even years where we've been successful over the last 10 years, one side or the other, whether it's run defense or offensive line play is subpar, you know, because against an opponent like that, look, we call high school ball. You know, we've mentioned a couple of matchups that are coming up soon. You hear this from me more than you want to hear from me. You can match every one skill guy. Why? And sometimes you can make all that work out. Yeah. But if you're getting whooped, like mano-a-mano up front, you're constantly getting whooped. You can't win in that sport. You're not going to win in that sport consistently. Forget it. And, you know, that's the hard part about going up and down in classification. So when you ask about Alabama A&M, that's up and down in classifications to me. That's a 5A opponent playing a 7A opponent. And if it's a good 7A opponent, they should whoop the 5A opponent on the lines of scrimmage because they got more bows and Joes to pick from.
They do.
Auburn needs to win the line of scrimmage. I'm bullish on Auburn. I'm never bullish on Auburn. I've been bearish for a week.
We all have a bullish opinion this year.
I'm bullish. I think the ceiling's way higher than it has been. Yep. I think it all boils down to defensive line play, one.
Right.
Can we man up and stop the run of the opposition? I think we're going to be pretty good in secondary. I think linebackers will be okay. But we could be subpar on the defensive line, not have a very good defensive football team. And vice versa, how good offensive quarterback play do we get? If we get a slightly above average quarterback play, we got a chance to be a very good
Let me give you some practice notes based off what you just said. They go right along with the last segment and then what you just said now. And this has to do with the secondary and the defensive line. I'll start with the defensive line. There may not be a bigger surprise. And this is coming from Jason Caldwell, by the way, our good friend. His practice notes from yesterday. May not be a bigger surprise, the preseason and continued transformation of Malik Blockton, a player that we've been watching since his freshman season. Blockton has put in some serious work since coming in early for bowl practice. Has him in line for a lot of playing time, especially in Auburn's pass rush sets where he could be on the field as a tackle to give the Tigers more explosive pass rush in the interior. Around 290 pounds right now, Blockton is big enough to hold his own in the run game. He'll likely play at 305 or more by the time he's done. With him showing this preseason, look for Blockton to be in the mix from the opening day throughout the rest of the year. In the secondary, Texas transfer Jaron Thompson, who we've been hearing all the buzz about, continues to impress. Been a huge addition, leadership ability and experience. But Caleb Wooden continues to play well and is also being pushed by Sylvester Smith from Munford High School. Sylvester Smith, long, lengthy, athletic.
We're athletic in the secondary.
That's right. Caleb Harris, Terrence Love, and Griffin Speaks, someone the coaches trust all of them at safety. So it's a ton of competition for playing time, which has helped the safeties take some strides in camp. At corner, Antonio Kite, J.C. Hart, Jalen Crawford, Amon Lane Gaines have shown some strong signs as well while looking for playing time behind Scott and fellow starter Kay and Lee. Man, that's a mouthful. That's a lot of positive right there in two areas that we were concerned about.
That's still even reading all of that and hearing all that. Here is the devil's advocate of that. Malik Blockton, been on campus a few months, already expected to play a key role. Doesn't mean he can't, but Malik Blockton has put on, what would you guess, 30 pounds?
Yeah.
I mean, you thought 260, 265, and good size, but not a overly.
Now he's at 290.
So he's really worked hard, and I'm glad that he's been there, but it does draw concerns on a part of the team where I go, I don't know that our ceiling's real high. Doesn't mean that it won't be 3 years from now when Malik Blockton does weigh 305, 310, and he's had a bunch of snaps under his belt. We need Isaiah Rakes.
I think he's just saying that Malik Blockton's been a big surprise.
We need some of these guys to play better than I have no idea how they're
Rakes had a good scrimmage Saturday.
Okay.
So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Auburn Blitz. We'll be back with you tomorrow, same time, same place. Remember, go out there and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. Well, yeah, see you tomorrow.